Hey.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Movie Monday Reviews that's being pre-recorded on Friday, March 8th, 2019 at 7:18 p.m. Probably didn't need to say the time, but I just do it anyways because I'm that type of guy.
PM Eastern Standard Time. You know, if you're one of those people who's in the, I don't know, middle
Yeah.
of the country.
That live in like the UK or something like that. So,
Yeah.
let's introduce. I feel like you're not even a guest at this point. I feel like you're more
Not
of a
really. I'm kind of like a co-host at this point.
yeah.
Alan Talent. This was my movie pick.
Yep. I feel like I do the same thing for like one of my wrestling things. We'll pick up like a past wrestling show to review, so we'll kind of bring that on here. Why did you pick this movie? Is there any specific reason or?
Well, after we reviewed Shane, I had just watched Negotiator actually, and they had brought up Shane in the movie, and we were also reviewing Glass, which had
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson. This has Samuel Jackson, so I figured it'd be like a nice tie-in type of thing.
Yeah, I guess we can add. We'll answer that question now. I was gonna wait till the end, but since you brought it up, what role do you like Samuel Jackson in this movie, or do you like him better as Mr. Glass in Glass? I actually like him better.
I like him better as Mr. Glass. I think he's just like a more cunning character, and
Yeah.
he's still very interesting in this though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
think
two
so.
completely different people, you know. Like here, he's like hot blooded and like
Yeah.
intense. In that, he's like cold and calculating.
I think and I feel like too also he has more experience obviously doing it in Glass than he does here because he's been
Yeah, he's pretty young in this. This movie came out in the '80s.
No,
Neither of us were even born, you know.
actually no, it didn't come out in the 80s. I'll tell you when it came out. So
Oh,
yeah,
98. My bad. I thought it was 89.
because this definitely looks like a 1998 movie. So all right, but this movie was directed by F. Gary Gary. He has two Garys in his name. I don't know what's the deal with that. We don't even know what his first name stands for. So he was good enough to direct a movie. So I guess we can't really make fun of his name. And then it was produced by David Haberman and Admin. I think it says Shane. And it was written by James DeMarco and Kevin Fox. The music was done by I don't know how to say this name, Grainer and Ravel. And then the cinematography was done by Russell Carpenter. Don't know if there's any relation to John Carpenter, but I don't.
Or like Johnny Air Conditioner.
Yeah, so you have to look that up for yourself. This was edited by Christian Wagner, and the production company that produced these movies, there was a ton of them, were Regency Enterprise, which is one of the writers, companies probably, Mandeville Films, New Regency. So this basically the same guy produced this movie twice. It's pretty funny, actually, to me. Monarchy Enterprises and Taurus Films. Like I said, if you want the pronunciations, you can look them up online. And it was distributed by Warner Bros. They've distributed like a lot of movies. They've done probably every movie. I think did they do Shane too? I think they did.
I think so.
No,
that was Paramount.
Oh yeah, right. I know but I know Warner Bros. Have done a lot of films.
Yeah,
so.
they did all like the DC movies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you want to guess? So it came out in 1998. Do you want to guess the date? I'll let you guess the date. See if you can guess it.
Well, I mean, I got a 1 in 12 shot. August 10th, maybe.
All right. You were a little off. July 29th. So that's not that bad. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm guessing because this movie must have looked like, a summer movie. So
yeah, like a summer blockbuster type of thing.
Yeah. And then this movie is an English movie. The language is English because sometimes we might review.
No, I thought it was German.
No way. Now you get to do the big guess. Can you guess how much of a budget this movie had? You always get this like really one, so let's see if you get this right for once.
60 million.
Very close, actually. 50 million. So.
Damn it! All right, that was actually really close.
Because I think when we've done past movie reviews before,
I'm always off by like a good couple million, like 10 $10 million's more than I'll ever make, but it's pretty close for this.
Yeah. All right, now you got it. Oh wait, no, we usually do that at the end, actually.
What, the box office? We can
yeah,
just do it now.
All right, too. Sure.
Well, since I said 60 million before, I'm gonna say it again. 60 million.
49.1 million.
What is it?
49.1 million.
Really? That's it? I thought it'd make more than that if the budget was 50.
Yeah, I think they probably estimated it to 50 though, which that's debatable if that's a good thing, because typically if they don't like make more than the budget, then that's kind of a disappointment in a way in my eyes, because you're not getting more back than
you're not making anything back. You're losing money at that point.
Yeah, you'll either lose or you just have it. You're back to where you just started from before. So
yeah, exactly.
So there's really no background behind this movie. They just basically, they just have the plot on Wikipedia. So if you want to look up how this movie was made, Wikipedia apparently isn't the source. So, and we're not using any other source. So, let's actually start talking about
the actual movie in this movie review.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start it off. Really the first maybe 15 minutes of it, I think, was just to kind of let us see Lieutenant I think his name is Lieutenant Danny Wom. I almost said Dan Dunn. That's why then that's a different movie though. So basically him as the negotiator, because I didn't really know why this movie was called Negotiator at first until I saw the trailer, obviously. But this is called The Negotiator because
Negotiator.
Yeah. He and if you don't know what a negotiator is, because some people might not, basically if someone has taken somebody hostage, they try to negotiate them either out of doing it or into situations where they can just kill the guy.
Or wound him.
Yeah. So
the beginning is a man who I guess his wife cheated on him. Has this little girl kidnapped. He's got her at gunpoint. She's got a black eye.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's clearly just an abusive dad. So Danny Roman goes in. I don't know why I said Bobby. Danny Roman goes in, and he's very unorthodox about it. Everyone's telling him not to do it this way. Yeah. He goes in by himself, lures the shooter away from the little girl, has him shot through the window, and has the SWAT team come in and take care of the little girl. Yeah,
it was pretty cool. This is kind of, like I said, this is one of those scenes you really kind of have to see in a way, because, but it really was awesome.
Really intense, good introduction to the character, showing that he's the best at what he does in.
Yeah, because it ties in to the whole movie pretty much, and stuff. So.
Because this is the only scene we see of him negotiating.
Yeah.
So, without the scene, it's kind of he's just some random guy who knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And I liked it, I thought, Samuel Jackson acted very well in it and stuff, so. And it's pretty cool because I bet, negotiated and stuff is very different now because there's probably more technology and stuff nowadays, too, so. I bet they use the same equipment and stuff, but there's probably other if they did it in 2019, it's probably very different in a way. So then they're having a big celebration at a ball because of this, and his partner, whose name I actually do have, I don't know how to, Nate Rodnick, he comes out and he wants to talk to him privately, and he says that somebody has been secretly stealing the disabilities fund. So this actually becomes very, very, very important, because this basically starts the whole movie pretty much, right here.
Right, this is the plot, basically.
Yeah.
Nate exists to spout exposition, and then,
Yeah. And then he says, there's, this certain organization that, they work with, that they can report it to, but they think that somebody within that, they think it's an inside job. So
right,
much. And they get interrupted by Scott. I only mention this because Scott is Dean Norris from Breaking Bad, which obviously,
which is a show we also review
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool to kind of see him. He doesn't have like a big role in the show and stuff, but it's kind of
I
weird
mean,
too.
in the
Like,
movie, in the show, he has a very big role.
yeah, I mean he has a pretty decent role, like what he does in this movie, but like he doesn't like have like a lot of lines and stuff in this movie. But
Yeah, it's kind of like a background character, I think.
yeah, but it's pretty cool though that like Dean Norris, the 2 times I've seen him like act, he's been a cop. So, I mean I know a DEA agent's kind of different, but it's kind of a cop in a way too. So,
Yeah, it's like a cop that specifically does drugs.
yeah. So, yeah, they pretty much decide to kind of like keep this to themselves. We also find out that Nate has someone that's like been telling them about this stuff because that ties into the movie
Right,
too.
an informant.
Informant, yeah, I couldn't think of the word. So then back at I got Danny's house because I keep meaning to say Dan because it's
Yeah, because we just reviewed Glass a little while ago. I get it.
yeah. I'm just bad with names, so. But back at Dan's house, I think him and his wife like just married because you could tell they're like just moving into the new house because they don't have like a lot of furniture out and anything like that. So, they don't want to explain that, but that's just the vibe I got from when I actually saw their house.
Either that or they just moved.
Yeah. And he promises to her that he's never going to do anything crazy again because a lot of people said like when he just went into like that guy that was taking hostage of that girl that was very unorthodox and stuff like that.
Right, like he could have easily gotten shot.
Yeah. So he promises.
He doesn't really keep his promise.
Yeah. He promises never to do anything crazy again. I even like the quote that he used, where he said, "See I think he said the train or the bus. There goes the crazy. Crazy's gone. Crazy's left the station." I think he said train. Which obviously, this wasn't to be the first time Samuel Jackson would talk about a train. So, actually, this would be the first time, but this wouldn't be the last time, I should have said, because I forgot this movie came out, first.
That one.
Because that crazy definitely left the train. So, and then
blew up the train, really.
Yeah, and then Danny gets paged, which shows how young we are.
Definitely a '90s thing.
Yeah, basically, I think obviously I've never used one, but basically I think what it is it's like getting a text message back then, pretty much. Except
right.
You don't act.
Well, you were actually alive when this movie was made. I wasn't.
Yeah, but I didn't actually ever use a pager myself.
Right. Yeah, you were like 2 when this came out.
Yeah. So I think it's basically like a text message, like, but basically tells him he gives him a place where he goes to and stuff, because it's his partner Nate, and we see Nate sitting in his car, and we see like some shadow figure shoot him and completely.
So he's trying to get into contact with Bobby, and then someone rolls up to Nate and shoots him in his car.
Yeah, throws all the evidence too, like making it to make sure like that he never gets caught and stuff like that. Throws the pager out.
But because Bobby got called, he shows up, and then of course when the police are there, they immediately think that Bobby is the one who killed Nate.
Yeah. I think he got the name.
It's kind of like, dude, this looks such like a setup, like.
Yeah, because like I
guess that's why they didn't immediately arrest him.
Yeah, I think you said Danny, by the way. You said Bobby.
Oh, I don't know why. I don't know. He seems like a Bobby in this movie. I don't know why.
Yeah. And also, you could just totally maybe because but like the cop kind of should have realized that he was totally being set up, because like if he really did kill him, why would he like stick around after that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess they thought like he just killed him, but like,
yeah.
And it's like.
And then he gets interrogated by the police, and he tells them, all this stuff, and it, obviously he thinks he's lying because he can't give up who the informant is. And he knows very little because he like literally just found out about this stuff. So he's looking very guilty, and they pull.
Plus, it's like he's trying to to them, it's like I'm trying to get out of this murder by like framing like this whole conspiracy. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It would sound far fetched if someone.
And they even pull a search warrant out in his house, and of course, you know, he knows they're not going to find anything. But then we find out that someone planted like, you know, basically documents showing that like he's been transferring money out of the accounts. And
right. So they think he's the one who's been taking money from the disability fund.
Yeah. And you know, obviously then he starts freaking out saying that, you know, they planted this there, which, you know, probably made it even seem like even more that like he was, you know, on their tail. And well, you know, that he was guilty. So then he goes down to the police station. Well, first two, they also bury his partner, which that was a sad scene in this movie.
It was sad, but at the same time, it's like Nate is clearly just like a plot device. Like he exists to die, and that's it.
Yeah. Hey, the actor got money out of it, so he's not complaining.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, it even says uncredited, like on Wikipedia, like what the actor did. So basically, yeah, even the Wikipedia knows, like, yeah, you don't matter. You're uncredited.
Like, hey, buddy, here's the plot, you know, and then that's what he does. And then, you know, he had a wife, I guess, who was mad.
Yeah. And sad.
That was all she wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so then Danny gets sent down to the police station, to which this is when we see Michael Cutlett's character, who's best known from Walking Dead, and I won't say what Woolley plays.
Yeah, I haven't watched Walking Dead, so you know more about that than I do.
Yeah. So I won't say what Woolley plays, though, because that's, you know, AJ will be left get. You know, obviously when AJ sees Michael Cutlet.
We'll start The Walking Dead after we finish
Breaking Bad
and start Death Note up again.
Yeah. And then he basically gets relieved, gets put on leave because of all this, you know, stuff going on with him. And I feel, you know, everybody's even watching him too, like, you know, having to give up his badge and everything. And the next day, his lawyer meets with, you know, the person that's suing him, and says that there's like another, you know, obviously he's gonna do time in jail basically, and there's like he has got to pay some type of fine or something like that too. I forget exactly. And his lawyer says that he should just do it, and then he tells his wife to wait in the car. I'll be right out, which we knew.
Like, I don't think he planned on doing this, but like he definitely knew he was gonna do something crazy.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about the next scene then with Danny?
Danny follows some people who you know, higher ups. Although we should point out before this, Danny, you know, had his gun and badge confiscated. That's important later.
Oh yeah, I forgot to. I thought I did mention that, but maybe I, you know.
Well, you know, like he was getting tried, so like it can be assumed they took away his badge and gun.
Yeah.
It goes up to the office of what was the guy's name? Of Terrence.
Numbum or something like that. Terrence Numbum.
Yeah, anyway, Terrence. And he's meeting with an informant, Rudy, and then his secretary, Maggie's also there. And so is the chief.
Al Travis?
Grant Frost.
Okay. He's the commander.
Yeah, the commander.
That's what it says right here anyway, so. Unless Wikipedia's let me down.
And then Danny starts questioning them. They try to kick him out, and then Danny steals one of their guns and holds them at gunpoint.
Yeah. I think like they kind of attacked him too a little bit, so it's not like, you know, he went in and just immediately attacked him. I think one of them kind of
like he like was just yelling at them and like demanding answers, and then like they physically attacked him first. So he, you know, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think he went into this thinking I'm gonna hold these people at gunpoint.
Yeah.
He knew he was gonna do something crazy. He didn't think he'd be like, you know, doing that though.
Yeah, exactly. And he takes, I believe, Numbum hostage at gunpoint and forces like everybody to leave
on the floor off the out of the building.
Yeah, except for
too, so they can't do anything.
Yeah, except for Maggie, Rudy, and eventually when Grant Frost comes in, he forces him to take off, to put his guns on the table. And because obviously he knew because he's worked with the police force, he knows that he has a gun hidden. So
Yeah,
he puts
like he knows everyone's tricks because he's been on the inside for so long.
yeah, and he handcuffs like one of them, well, three of them to like the not like a filing cabinet, and Numbum to like his chair because I think mainly it's Numbum that he wants. I forget exactly why he takes Maggie, Rudy, and you know,
Well,
um,
just because like they were in the room.
yeah. But obviously,
Like Rudy and Maggie are even like, look, we don't have anything to do with this. Please let us go.
yeah, and they did do like a little storyline with like Rudy where Danny had like arrested him before for credit card theft, so
So he's just
just
like a pity criminal.
yeah. So then
But like he's a good guy. Like I wish he got more screen time in this movie because like he's like a really solid character.
yeah.
He's really funny too.
Um and this starts, the whole process of them having to so this must have been like weird for everybody too because they have they obviously have to call in like the police and have to call in like a negotiator and stuff and because like you said Danny knows all the tricks, like no one can like get in the room, no one can
Right. They try putting cameras in there. He takes them all out.
he covers up the windows. I believe he doesn't cut the power, but he
No, he doesn't cut the power because that's a point later on.
yeah, but he does something to like where they can't get in through the elevator or something. So
Yeah.
they basically have no way of seeing what's really going on. Which just kind of showed how cool of a concept this was in a way that someone that have done all the tricks, has been in it and stuff. And basically like the police were like not really much of a match for this situation. They even have snipers at the ready, which is where Michael Cutlets comes into play. And yeah, they try everything they can. They first don't even know. I don't even think it's Danny because they don't have like because they can't see. So I don't even think they know it's him until like he answers the phone at one point. So
Right. And then Danny points out like, I'm not going to jail for a crime I didn't commit. We're gonna find out who the rat is amongst us.
yeah, and the whole movie. He even says like in one of the parts of the movie like I don't want to do this. He just really had no other choice but to do this because.
And I do like how this movie doesn't take that long to like get to the thick of things. Like we're introduced to all the background stuff like after 20 minutes, and then like the rest of this movie is the hostage situation.
Yeah, but I do like that too. Yeah, because I thought it was gonna take a while. Because when you told me about this movie, it was like 2 hours, and I was like, damn, I did not expect it.
I was thinking it was gonna take a while to get to this point too, but no, it gets to it pretty quick.
Yeah, I think it took like about 30 minutes.
I mean, that could be a downside too. That like they're in this situation too long, but like
yeah, I think that's like
like a give and take.
I think that's kind of like one of the downsides. Maybe the movie was a little bit too long. I don't know if the movie was a bit too long, or just say it now. So Danny's refusing to talk to anybody except for like the top, probably the second top negotiator, Chris Sabian, which is
right. He picks him because he's from an outside precinct, so he knows that he wouldn't be involved in this conspiracy that's going on because he can't really trust anyone at his current precinct.
Which they don't tell us this right away. It builds to that, but that's basically why. But we tell you right away on this channel. We don't mess around. So,
well, no, like that's why he calls him. Like he points that out. Like I choose you because we have never interacted before.
Yeah. And that's also, but that's like one flaw though is we didn't really see much of like Kevin Spacey's character. I don't think.
Chris Sabian.
Yeah.
Really, for like the second main character, he's not really in this a whole lot.
Yeah. So I think that kind of I feel like the movie. I don't think the movie's too long. I think some of the stuff they did should have included Kevin Spacey a little bit more than they did. So, but yeah.
But before Chris Sabian gets there, they have this funny scene which I really liked of they have like a newbie negotiator trying to talk Danny down, and
Yeah.
Danny knows all the tricks, and he's like playing him, like he's making him say a bunch of stupid stuff, like he's messing around basically.
And it was and the guy's like really nervous and stuff, and it was awesome. That's like a scene you have to just go watch for yourself, and we're not going to explain that scene. So,
Can't really explain a funny moment,
Yeah. And so yeah, Chris Sabian I think says he's only got like 20 minutes to get there or something. No, 15 minutes I think it was, but it takes him actually 20 minutes to get there. So, what Chris Sabian does is he realizes he's not going to. And also Danny says he's going to kill one of them, which is probably going to be Ruby, because Ruby doesn't
Rudy.
mean as much. Yeah, Rudy is like the least important because he doesn't want to kill Ned Bomb because he needs the information out of him. So, Chris Sabian, they do like a funny scene with him where like he can't even get like his family to do anything for him, but yet he's like a big negotiator that can literally like talk a guy out of like getting rid of a bomb or something like that.
Yeah.
Which that was a funny scene. And then that's when he gets the call, and while he's in this call, he actually just calls up via his cell phone, because they did have cell phones then, believe it or not. So, they obviously they're not as high tech now. So
yeah, no smartphones yet.
Yeah, because obviously he would have just called right away. Because I think too, like he while he didn't call right away, I think he had to be like around a cell phone tower or something like that. So, what happens is he calls him and wants to know why he was called, and this is actually when the Shane scene like originally happens first. Actually, I'll let you talk about that because
well, this shows how good he is. I think that's why that comedy scene was there before, to show like how different they are. Like Chris is very calm, cool, collective with the whole thing. He just talks about random things. They mention the movie Shane, Bobby says that this is a debate we had in our review. Bobby thinks Shane lived at the end of the movie, and Chris thinks Shane died at the end of the movie. And this is like, they bring this up later on in the movie, but put a twist on it.
Yeah, and obviously the Shane, I thought they were just gonna put it up, like here and then never put it up again, but it actually, was a big, pretty important scene in the movie towards the end.
Like a hint to like what's really going on.
Yeah, and he asked Chris Sabian to come up into the building, and he'll tell him in person why he wants him there. So Chris Sabian goes up there, and I think before like anything really can, like before he can even tell him, this is when the police and stuff like start shooting into the room and stuff like that. And Michael Cutlets, whose name in this movie is, can't pronounce it, so that's why Palomo, I think that's how you say it, but I'm just gonna call him Michael Cutlets because his name in the movie is like the most impossible name ever to pronounce. So, and he has the opportunity to shoot him, but I think he sympathizes with Danny because
Danny points this out earlier on that like everyone here is a friend, like, they all know each other, so he doesn't want to shoot his friend.
Yeah, and also too, so he doesn't take the shot. Because they keep telling him to take the shot, and he says he just can't take the shot. And at first, I think they mean like he can't get a good shot. But he's like, no, I can't take the shot. So he gets relieved off duty pretty much. And obviously, Chris Sabian is pissed that this happened because he's like done negotiating for years and has never had any casualties, and he wants to keep it that way. And he wants like full control of this situation, because also too they don't want, basically if they can't solve the situation, the FBI is going to get involved, and they don't want the FBI to get involved because it shows like
and Chris is like Chris doesn't trust anyone in the precinct either because he thinks Danny might be right.
Yeah, because he says he doesn't necessarily know if he is right or if he's not right. So because they did that as a scene too, like where he tries to tell him like you might be right, but then Danny knows he's bullshitting, so, then he eventually admits how he really feels about the situation. So he gets full control out of everything, and I think too. This is the point in the movie too. When Danny took the other two cops hostage, which was Scott and some other guy that
Right,
I
because
have no.
two cops busted in, and Danny, was able to, you know, detain them.
Yeah. Which that was a cool scene too.
Mm-hmm.
And he like chained them, I think, also to a filing cabinet.
I think he tied them to the stairs.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right. Um, and yeah, the building at this point's destroyed. So
Oh yeah, because they like blew up a piece of it, and
yeah,
Danny actually walks up and like says like, "Come on, shoot me, shoot me." They can't kill me. They want to kill me because I know the truth, and they
yeah,
can't kill him obviously because it's on national TV. They can't just execute him.
yeah, because the press is like covering this stuff in too. Because the press, they when they see a story, they gotta cover it. So the press saved Danny's life pretty much. So yeah,
So Danny just keeps like humiliating the police and like trying to like get answers from them.
yeah, and
And
then
during this whole thing, he's like interrogating Terrence.
yeah. And he says like he didn't know that Nate was even like investigating him. So Maggie reveals that there was like pre-recordings, which I think they call like taps or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
taps.
yeah, of all like people that like he's interrogated himself and stuff like that. So I think they cut the power, so he brings back Chris Sabian to tell him to bring the power back, brings him food, and he'll give him a hostage. Well, the hostage he gives him is
Grant.
Grant. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was trying to think of his last name because that's the only thing they referenced him in really this film. So it was only last names in this film, no first names.
And
So
that scene where they confront each other is pretty intense. Um, and that's like one of the only times they actually interact like face to face in this movie.
well up until the
Yeah.
end. And so they put the power back on, and it's actually Rudy that goes through the computer, and because I think like he knew the passcode and stuff to get in and everything. So, um, and
Oh,
we
by the way, I think we skipped this part. Earlier, Danny supposedly shot one of the cops.
oh
That
okay,
came in.
yeah, that's right.
Well, he put him in a different room and like shot his gun.
Yeah,
So he needed people to think that like he was serious, that like he
yeah.
actually killed someone for this.
And I think we all thought so too, because he did it like off camera at first. I
Oh no,
even
yeah,
seen,
I think it was pretty obvious that like he didn't actually kill him.
yeah.
It was done off screen.
And we didn't see like any blood like come out of the room or anything like that
And
too.
it's like you're trying to prove you're innocent. If you kill a man, then it's like you're
Yeah.
not really.
I did like though that like they tried to bring like his wife on to get him to stop, and like that got him shooken up a little bit too. And he knew like they were playing him, I think, at that point, so he really didn't have a choice. And I think that's when like his wife gets pissed, like saying, "Don't use me as like to get as like a ploy, and stuff like that." So I like that scene a lot too. Um,
Yeah. And so
then
anyway, Rudy's going through the computer. Maggie points out that like everything is on Terrence's computer.
yeah,
Terrence is being a real prick too. Like Rudy and Maggie are like hate this guy. They're like, dude, you are gonna get all of us killed.
yeah. So what do they find though? They find that Terrence lied. He actually knew that Nate was interrogating him because he has recordings of
Yeah, he like placed wires in his car and everything.
yeah, and it like and so it
So
showed
he
like
knew
the
Nate was on.
conversations. Um, so Danny asks for who was Nate's informant, and if he says he doesn't get it, I think he said he was going to kill somebody else in the room. I think the other cop, I think. And this scene was actually pretty great. They actually bring the informant in, and I was kind of like, okay, this kind of seems like a weird time to reveal this. So I was like very skeptical. So he and this was done by Chris Sabian. So the informant's telling him everything he knows, which we find out's all bullshit because Rudy, finds the computer, the actual informant, and I think he asks him like, some type of
But no, he
question.
doesn't find the actual informant. I think it's at like, because this guy, the guy they brought in, was an informant. He was just like the not the informant they wanted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he like
But
quizzed him about himself and
yeah,
like why he didn't bring himself forward earlier. And um, Bobby catches him by saying that like you didn't go to this college, you went to this college.
yeah, and so yeah, and obviously the police is upset with Chris because he
Yeah, they
tried
didn't.
pulling a
He
stunt.
brought in like fake informant.
Yeah, um, and then I like that scene a lot, and I think that's when the FBI steps in because they
Yeah,
were
at that point, like it's gone on too long.
yeah. So Chris is like, off the case, and they warn Danny that if he doesn't get out of the building, they're gonna come in and kill him pretty much. Because they say take him out, and you know what take him out pretty much means kill him. Because then this is at this point too, we forgot to break down this scene as well. Um, when you know Torrance actually reveals like the informant and everything. Like he has the information that he wants because when Danny's about to bring him in to get shot by the sniper, that gives
Right,
makes
because like there's a giant hole in the building, and like in the room they were in before.
yeah.
Thing
So
I got a flaw with this movie. It's not. It's really intense, but like there's only like 2 bits of like actually like action. You know,
yeah,
there's that
and
brief scene where they blow up the hole in the wall, and then there's the scene coming up where the SWAT infiltrate.
then he tells him everything that he wants. He says he has more recordings too back at his computer, and um then somebody shoots him and kills him.
Yeah, in the
Um,
firefight, because like the police are in the docks, and they want to silence Terrence, so they come in and like start shooting, and they kill him.
yeah, and they also
And I mean Terrence is super unlikable, so no tears were shed.
destroy his computer as well. So then Chris Sabian comes up and warns Danny that the FBI is coming for him
Well,
because
before this, actually, Rudy and Maggie are like sympathizing with Bobby. Well, not Bobby. I keep calling him Bobby.
yeah,
Danny, because they heard Terrence admit everything about the conspiracy and everything.
yeah,
And Danny was like super depressed. Like, I'm sorry, I got you guys wrapped up and everything. This is pointless because I'm gonna get arrested now anyway.
yeah, and but then that's when he finds out there's actually taps at home and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, that there's like a source they can go like get more information from.
and then that's when Danny reveals that he actually didn't kill Scott. Scott was still alive, which that was good for Scott.
Good for so he can go join the DEA and hunt down his brother-in-law.
Yeah, exactly. And change his name to Hank, obviously, too, because he probably
exactly. After this whole situation, he's like, you know what, man, I'm moving to Albuquerque, naming my name, change my name to Hank. Getting away from all this.
Because he didn't have a wife that we know of either, so
could have had a good old brother-in-law who was a chemistry teacher.
Yep. Well, co-founded Gray Matter too, so
yeah.
And then yeah, so Chris Sabian helps him escape the building. And I like too because when he escapes, one of the guys that works, for the police even says, "Now they're in charge because you wanted him out. He's out now." So that was an awesome scene. Like they just stuck it right to the FBI right there, and the FBI like looked dumbfounded, like, yeah, guess you got this one now. Like they didn't,
right.
They didn't even know what to do. So Chris Sabian is about to leave, and they got to check his car to make sure Danny's not in there. And this scene was kind of goofy a little bit because they checked the car at first, and I'm like, okay, he's probably in the trunk, but like somewhere stupid in the trunk. But no, they checked the car. It's like, okay, it's all good. And after the car's all been checked, he just runs in the car anyway. That was pretty funny and kind of goofy right there. So
this movie just definitely has like its more goofy moments to like.
Yeah. So I'll let you break down the obviously like kind of the ending scene when they actually go to Terrence's house.
Yeah, they go to Terrence's house. They try to get the information. the police show up and Chris is like, all right, man, time's up. You're going away. And he's like, no, dude, I almost got it. The police show up and Danny kind of knows, like, all right, you guys are corrupt. You guys are the ones who killed Nate. There's a little shootout, and then Grant shows up, and then it clicks together, like, oh, this is like he's the head honcho for this whole conspiracy. And during this little like standoff, Chris says to Danny, I think you're right. Shane does die in the end, and then he shoots Danny.
And obviously, that's when we knew, like, he's tricking him because
he's doing something here. Because earlier Danny said Shane lives.
Yeah.
Saying Danny said that Shane dies.
Yeah.
So like, this was like his hint to Danny and the audience that like he's not gonna actually kill him.
Yeah.
But he starts talking with Grant, saying like, all right, look, I want in on this money. He agrees. Grant destroys the evidence and then leaves. But then he finds out that Chris had recorded that whole conversation and that he didn't actually kill Danny. So they arrest Grant and the other two cops.
Well, at first, too, Grant tries to commit suicide so he doesn't go to jail, but he failed. Yeah. So.
Earlier, the police are at the house because Maggie told them where Danny was going.
Yeah, because he didn't have a choice.
And by the way, that's another kind of bad, sucky thing that like Rudy and Maggie don't really have like an end in the movie. They just kind of don't show up again.
We just have to assume like they just lived a happy life together.
Yeah, I guess they're not together, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Danny gets taken away in the hospital. Chris Sabian.
Him and Chris are like, you're not a piece of shit, dude. All right, thanks.
Yeah, and that was that. That was the end of the movie. You don't really get like a I feel like
not really a satisfying end. It's kind of just like it ends.
Yeah, like you don't really find out what happens to Danny afterwards. You don't really find out what happens to Chris afterwards.
Like you figure he'd go to jail because like he just held a bunch of people hostage.
And I think that's like the biggest plot hole with this movie is
he didn't go to prison.
The whole reason he was doing this was he didn't want to go to jail, but like you're gonna go to jail now anyways because like what you think like you're gonna come off innocent at the end? Like you took a bunch of people.
Well, like, okay, cool, you were right about the whole disability fund, but, like, you still held a bunch of people at gunpoint, so, like, you're going to jail.
Yeah. But nope, I guess we're supposed to assume, like...
He doesn't even get fired from being a cop, he gets his job back.
Yeah, like, I feel like the movie doesn't have, like, a satisfying, like, ending. It just ends
and like we said, like, Ruby and, you kept saying Ruby, so now I'm saying Ruby. Yeah. Rudy and Maggie don't even have an end either. They just kind of stop showing up.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because they were some of my favorite characters in this, and they were in it for most of it.
Yeah. And his wife too is like not even mad at him either. That like he like broke his promise pretty much. She like alludes to it, but like understands. But like no, there should have been like her being like more pissed off than she was.
Right.
Too.
Like you just held a bunch of people hostage.
Yeah.
And Chris is a cool character, but like he didn't even really show up that much, and I wish him and Bobby, I don't like you calling him Bobby. Him and Danny don't even interact that much.
No.
And it was weird towards the end when they were at Terrence's house. He's helping Danny, and then the cop show up and he's like, all right, time's up, you're going to prison. Like that's a weird thing to say. Like, I'm gonna help this criminal.
Yeah.
But like if you're going to prison in 2 minutes.
Plus, he still had more time anyways because it's not like the cops always come right in anyway. They always like they give you warnings at first, so he still had time. Come on.
Right.
Not like apparently Chris like forgot for a second like what it's like to be a cop. He's like, oh, time's up.
Yeah.
Like. Oh my god.
So yeah, the ending was kind of dumb, but like the rest of the movie was really intense, really cool.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that like no one killed Danny during the situation because no one really wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. So let's do the letter grades. What do you give this movie?
I give it a B-.
Yeah, me too. I know
really good movie, but a lot of noticeable flaws and
I'll give it a B.
little too long.
Wouldn't it be a B then if it's a really good movie? Because B- is like just good. So.
Well, it's really good, but it has a lot of flaws in my opinion.
Yeah, B
And
minus.
they could definitely shave off like a half hour of this movie.
And also if the ending had been better too, I think you know,
Yeah.
because that's where the flaws come in is right at the end, because then everything else is fine. So
Like that big cool shootout where Terrence dies, that's awesome, and everything after that's kind of meh.
yeah, and I do gotta say, um, I feel bad for the people that had to like rebuild that building right after.
I know, right? Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah. Danny's a really cool character. I like Chris. He wish he could have showed up more, but like those are like the only two big characters. Everyone else is just kind of like in the background. They don't really do much.
yeah. Let's go over the cast. I really don't even want to even bother. Like, there's
Not
really
really.
no.
I mean, we kind
Yeah,
of we already went over it, and like
yeah,
it's not a super big cast.
yeah. Um,
So I give it a B minus. You give it a what? A B?
B minus actually.
Okay.
So overall, it's a B minus for both of us.
Yeah.
All right, so now you get to guess
that's
though
a
what.
pretty solid score. It's respectable.
Yeah. Um, if you would have asked me though, would I watch this movie? I probably would watch this movie again, but like, I feel like I wouldn't watch it, like 5 times. I feel like I'd get bored of it, after the 3 times. Um, like it's not
Yeah.
like it's not like I feel like I would watch, Shane like I could watch Shane not all day, but a lot and never get bored with it and stuff.
Right.
So,
Right.
um,
This I feel like it's like now that you know all the twists and turns, it's not as enjoyable.
yeah. All right, but now you get to guess what other people. What do you think? So this is the fan grade. What do you think the fans rated IMDb out of 10?
I think a 7 out of 10.
I'll give it to you. It was a 7.3, but obviously, yeah, they gave it a. But it's really kind of hard because the people that give it like the ones are like people who like don't know how to review movies. Like they're like, oh, I'll read you one of the one reviews because it was pretty stupid. Real quick, I know, I know we got another video to do, but this one review is just totally worth hearing. Because it's only like 3 sentences long. So, and of course, all these ads got to pop up. Can't just get to it.
So there's got to be something.
All right. I think that's this one. Why is that every action thriller out of Hollywood and this is in 1999 he wrote this too, so these days look like they've come from out of the same mold? Why are they all shot like glossy commercials? Why do they waste good actors' time and money on derivables such as this? Why do I bother writing this? Could someone sometime please remember how to make a real movie? Story weakness aside, this could have been a lot more realistic had it been shot in a more documentary style. Which French Connection, anyone? Because I guess that's another movie. Maybe we'll review that someday. You get what you bargain for. A couple of named actors, check. Okay, no, it's not this one. Where is it? There's like one that has like. No, I guess it was that one.
Anyway, yeah, that was kind of stupid. Documentary style. I mean, it's not a documentary though. It's an action.
Why would you do this? Wouldn't be a documentary either. This but yeah, that's why I gotta be careful with IMDb because some of the people that give it the bad ratings like don't know what they're talking about. So, but now you get to guess what do the critics rate this movie out of 100%.
Well, it was 7 out of 10. I'm gonna say like an 85%.
The critics gave it a 75%.
All right, that's pretty close.
Yeah, only 56 reviews counted, but we don't know. They basically said, the people that gave it rotten, said it lasted too long.
Yeah, which is a complaint we had.
Yeah, but no matter though what the review was, they did praise the acting of Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, they're always good actors, so like that's not really a surprise.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically it. Because obviously, I was just about to.
B minus. I feel like other reviews matched this one pretty well.
Yeah.
Again, it was too long. Chris Sabian didn't really do much. Other side characters were kind of irrelevant.
And then and not really a good, satisfying ending. So.
Right, but I thought the like the police not wanting to kill Danny was interesting. Danny himself
was in
was a really cool character, and it was really intense the whole way through. And I liked the mystery as well.
Yep. So that's pretty much it. You guys should see this video Monday. So you guys have something to look forward to now. So
yeah. Definitely go watch this movie. At least once or twice. After that, kind of leave it
alone. And don't like yell at us if we spoil this movie for you, because while you're watching a movie review of a movie you never saw before, so.
Right. Well, I mean, if it were like a spoiler-free review, I'd get it.
It's not spoiler-free though. Maybe we should set. Maybe we should start warning people at the beginning, because it's kind of too late to warn them now. So. Yeah.
Well, it's like 40 minutes, so I feel like they would get that we're talking about what's in the movie.
Yeah, and it's not. And this, if you haven't seen this movie, it came out in 1998. So, But anyhow, I
wasn't even born when this came out, so you should have watched it already.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Check. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote? I almost forgot that part.
My channel, AJ Talent. Go check him out at Owen Talkinator, CM Brothers, and Wrestling Fortune 44.
We're about to upload Red vs. Blue on CM Brothers, literally right now.
Season 1 review.
Actually, no, it's already up, actually, because I forgot it's pre-recorded, so it should already be up.
Right. So, yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, you guys got something else to look forward to if you watch it, but if you don't, then you got nothing to look forward to. So, we'll talk to you guys later. Not the best video we've ever made, but not the worst.